5 things they don't want you to know about modeling. Number 1, rejection is constant. You are going to get more no's than you are going to get yeses. And that's going to come from brands, from agencies, from people that you meet. And that just comes with the territory. So you have to build resistance. And a lot of people say that you have to build tough skin, but you do. You definitely need tough skin. If you want to be a model, you're going to have to deal with the no's and not let that stop you, but to use it as fuel to improve and to get better. And if you are getting a no, ask why. Ask why the answer is no, because they might tell you, and that whatever it is that they tell you could be the thing that you go and change, and it could be the difference between you hearing a no and now you're hearing a yes. It could be them saying, oh, it's because your hair is this way and it actually will look better this way, or it's because you live here and that's going to be a problem, and if you moved here, it could work out. So for whatever reason that you're hearing the no, you might be able to do something about it. And sometimes you don't find out what the reason is, but you still have to move on and continue to get better and to perfect your craft. Number 2, modeling is not all glamorous. I know a lot of people get caught up in magazines and the stuff that they see online, on Twitter and Instagram. Modeling is a lot of long hours. A lot of people don't know that. The shoots can be uncomfortable sometimes. And I really think this needs to be said, but there's no guaranteed success from being a model. Now, I do think that anybody can be a model if they have the right attitude and they have the right mindset about getting into this industry, and they figure out what niche fits them the best, and that's what they go after. But there's no guaranteed success with modeling, and that kind of goes back into the rejection and making sure that you're being resilient, because if you really want this to be a thing, you're gonna have to keep at it. But modeling is definitely long hours. When you start to make money and book shoots and the stuff that you want to do, it's a long time. For some girls, they do video shoots. I don't really do them, but sometimes what I've seen and what girls have talked about, or when videos have come my way, I'll get something that says it's a 12-hour shoot or it's a 16-hour shoot. And I'm like, okay. But there have been modeling jobs that I've done where it's literally 10 or 12 hours. Like, yes, you're being compensated well, but it can be tiring. And sometimes there are things that are uncomfortable. And by uncomfortable, I don't mean like doing nudity if you're not okay with nudity. By uncomfortable, I mean you might be shooting for a brand and they have you on some shoes and the shoes hurt. You just got to go with it. Like, you're not going to be comfortable the entire time. And again, that comes with the territory. But regardless of those things, I love what I do. So I just take it on the chin. And I know that's what comes with being a model. Number 3, networking is key. I cannot stress this one enough. And if you've ever heard someone say this, it's because it is true. And it makes the difference when you're well connected. And modeling is not just about your portfolio, but who you know matters. And that means befriending other models, because now you're able to ask someone questions. You're able to look at their career and to see the trajectory and to see how they do certain things and emulate it, not copy, but emulate it with your own personal style and stank to it. You feel me? But not just models, that means befriending stylists, hairstylists, makeup artists, other people that you can work with and that you can collaborate with, and that you could also possibly get tips and advice from. I still network. Like, it's so important, even though a lot of people look up to me because they feel like I have made it, or I feel like I symbolize what a lot of other models want to get to. And I still have so much more to do and that I want to accomplish as a model. And because I know that I still have to make connections. I still have to, befriend other makeup artists. If I know that I want to do a campaign with Lancome, which I do, I would love to do a campaign with them. I love their products. I use their products all the time. Now, I want to actually work with them as a model. So I need to befriend someone who is a makeup artist so that, okay, we can do a look or we could do a video that's a Lancome inspired look. Or maybe I befriend someone who's on the team and they're like, oh yeah, I could easily put you in. Those things make a huge difference for your career. Being kind and personable really goes a long way. And sometimes you never know who you're talking to, right? So it's always important to treat people with kindness, because I have just met people in crossing or in passing just from being at a coffee shop or being at a bar, and someone started a conversation with me and they're like, hey, you're beautiful. Or do you model? Because I'm a makeup artist and I actually am looking for someone for the shoot. Like you just never know. So networking should be intentional, right? So putting yourself in the position to be at the places and the environments where these people are and able to be able to network with them. But not just that, also remember that whenever you step outside of your house, you are always networking, whether you realize it or not. First impressions matter, and you never know who you're talking to, especially if you live in a big city like New York or LA. Literally, I'm telling you, it never fails. Pretty much every time I just go out, it could be something simple like a run to the grocery store, or like I said, to get coffee, or just to a restaurant. I'm always meeting someone and they are somehow related to my career. So just remember that when you leave your house, you are networking. Always. Okay, number 4, agency contracts can be tricky. So if you don't know anything about contracts, then you need to also have someone look over it for you. My first contract, it's not like it was bad or anything, but I had my mom look over it because I had never looked at a contract before. I was 21 and I was like, okay, I don't know what this means, but it looks good. And I had my mom read it, because she does that kind of work where she's always reading stuff and the verbiage of things is important. So there were a couple of things that she pointed out, like, hey, you might want to ask for clarification on this, this, and this. And I did. And I'm like, okay, got an understanding of what it was, and then went on about my business. But for some people, they may not have someone to ask. So what you need to do is put that contract into ChatGPT or AI. First, you tell it a little bit about yourself. Hey, my name is Sade. I'm a 25-year-old model. I live in South Carolina, but this agency that is based out in LA wants to sign me. Point out any clauses in this contract that may be alarming. I am looking to be signed for 3 years and I want to be represented only in LA. And then ChatGPT is going to read the contract and they'll say, hey, there's a clause in here that says that they're going to represent you for 5 years, which that normally doesn't happen. 3 years is a standard, but for some reason, what if an agency put in 5 and then you don't know or you're not aware that 3 years is the standard, right? Let's say they put in like, oh, we take 50%, 20% is the standard. And then you're like, oh, okay. Like ChatGPT will be like, no, that's not right. It's usually like this is alarming. Or if you said you only want to be signed in LA and this agency is saying we want to represent you worldwide, then ChatGPT will point that out. And I think that's really important. It's really important. And AI has changed so much in the past, year and a half of me using it. So use that as your tool and as your friend. If you are not sure about contracts, put it in there and ask as many questions as possible so that you can make sure that you get some understanding and that you're not being taken advantage of. Okay. Number 5, and I think this one is so overlooked. And number 5 is self-care is essential. It is not an option, it is a must. Your appearance is literally your entire job. So, and so is protecting your mental and your physical health. That is your entire job. Being a model is based on how you look. Whether people agree with it or not, that's what it is. And that's just how it's always going to be. It's how it's always been. It's based off of your appearance. And depending on what type of modeling you do or want to do, you are going to have to put in a little work on your overall self-care. And I call it self-care and not just working on your appearance, because these things should be lifestyle. And I say that because from experience, I had an agency in the past where they wanted me to lose a couple inches on my waist. And at the time, it just did not work out and it really turned into something bad. And it was because I was not prioritizing my overall health and wellness and self-care. I was just trying to lose those 2 inches on my waist by any means necessary. And that was the problem. And now I look at things a lot differently and I call it self-care or self-maintenance versus I'm just doing this for modeling because that's my job. I also am a person outside of being a model. I also have other things. I have a specific way that I want my body to look. So that means having a set workout routine, having workouts that align with how I want my body to look. If I know that I want to be a bikini model, then I need to really take stock in my fitness and my health and what am I eating, my overall wellness. And it's not just about it being about me wanting to be a bikini model. It's literally also because I want to feel good and I want to feel confident. I want to feel amazing when I put on a bikini. I want to feel healthy. I don't want to feel bloated or groggy or tired because of the foods that I'm eating. I want to feel energized and fresh. And I also want to look the fuck good, okay? And because of that, because of my wellness goals, the byproduct is that I am going to look amazing in a bikini and I will be able to be a bikini model. Now, that goes for other things. If you want to be a model that does a lot of beauty stuff and you may not have the best skin, then maybe your self-care is working on your skin. If you want to be a hair model, then it's putting time into your hair. If you know that you want to do hair campaigns, or you want to work with a lot of hair brands. If you want to be an editorial model and you fit the height, but not necessarily the weight or the size, then do what you got to do. Always healthy though. Just remember that. Always healthy. I'm going to make another video later on talking about EDs and all of that other stuff. But yes, we are always doing it healthily. Remember that. But remember to take care of your mental also. But again, self-care, it's so many different things and it really just depends on you. For me, self-care is nails, it's my toes, it's taking care of my skin, it's taking care of my hair, my body. I'm really into body care and making sure that I'm well moisturized, that I'm smooth, that I look good. It means getting bikini waxes, underarm waxes, all of those things. Working out, it means eating well. It means saying no to certain things. Sometimes it means not drinking alcohol. It also means focusing on my mental. Like, how do I feel? Because that really determines how I look at certain things. Okay, that really determines how I look at certain things when it comes to modeling. And I always want to make sure that my mental is what it needs to be. and that I have a pretty good self-conception and I feel good about myself as a person and as a model. And like I said, because things can be so unsure when it comes to modeling, or there's so much rejection, you have to make sure that you're taking care of your mental, or else it will tear you apart. And some people can't handle that, or they're not ready for that. So you have to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit if you want to be a model. And those are the 5 things that they don't tell you about modeling. I really hope that this video was helpful and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.